What's up, guys? This is Maverick here, and today we're going to be watching A Place Further in the Universe Episode 6. So, the halfway point of this series. Now, honestly, I can't believe that this is only 12 episodes long. It seems that, there's much more material that can be put into this work, especially since we're 6 episodes in, and they're not even in Australia yet, right? They're not even on the actual ship heading towards Antarctica yet. So, well, how exactly is this series going to do an ending in the end? I don't know. Even though I haven't even watched the rest of it yet, but at this point, I feel like 12 episodes is way too small of a number for the potential stories that can be told here. But no, that's kind of aside the point, right? So, anyways, last episode, they finally departed. They're on the plane. I believe that in this episode, they're landing in Singapore. Is it for some training, or is it just a quick stopover and they're going straight to Australia? Don't really know. Of course, we got Kimari's entire situation with Megumi mostly resolved, I guess. So we're probably going to see them still communicate with each other as time goes on. As for the actual episode, it would be kind of nice if they can actually get on board the ship in this episode, right? But we shall see. Alrighty, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Customs. Are still in Singapore? So these four literally just the onus is on them to get there. Oh wait, never mind. They're still in Japan. Okay. Being a plane. Boom. Ah, she didn't fall. Never mind. Ah, and here's the opening. So, as usual, let me mute this. So, anyways, the reason I thought they were in Singapore is because last episode at the very end there, they showed them in Singapore. But I guess that's just actually a preview. So, they're still in Japan, taking a plane, about to take a plane, and so I presume they're flying towards Singapore. So, probably, it's not going to be that fast. They'll probably arrive in Australia by the end of this episode, I'm thinking. Or departing for Australia. Flying. I wonder how many of these girls are flying for the first time. You'd think that, as high schoolers, they probably wouldn't have that much chance to actually go abroad, right? And knowing Japanese, they really like to go to places like Okinawa or Hawaii. Uh, Potentially Hong Kong as well. Ew, what happened there? Okay, never mind. I think my... Yeah, but anyways, yeah. Man, I feel so awkward during these times when, um, I'm still putting the opening in, but don't really know what to talk about. Where's the rest of the passengers on the plane? There's literally no one else on the plane. Ah, and here we go. The first time. Oh, there's the rest of the people. Flight to Singapore from Japan. That's like what, 5 hours? Well, for her first time on a flight, she's certainly adapting it pretty well. You know, having a dessert and an actual meal. Probably 5, maybe even 6 hours, 7 hours of flight. Wait, where are they? Leaving in 2 days? So yeah, Singapore, right. Wait, a layover for 2 days? Alright. Efficient in regards to what? Shopping? Hmm? Oh? Is that why she's always waking up on the wrong side of bed in the opening? Oh? Missing something? That's nice. I've actually never been to Singapore. I've been to various countries in Southeast Asia for work, but not Singapore yet. Well, fried rice. Eesh. Eesh. I think I had that in Macau before. Not really my cup of tea. Yeah. Ah, she's missing her passport. Really? I thought, you know, if there's anyone who would be missing stuff, I would have thought it would be Kimari. for a photo shoot. Yeah. 'That's a nice kind of settlement. Yeah. 'Yeah, it's losing her passport is like, And so they should probably first call Lost and Found at the airport. Wow. You can try going to the embassy. Yeah, but I was saying, I'm quite surprised that it's actually her that forgot this. Now, she's usually always the dependable one, right? So, Oh, really? That's short? But that's gonna cost money, though. Of course, you should tell her first. Why didn't you guys get twin beds? Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I would probably do the same thing in her situation. Now this is awkward. Ooh. Hmm? I wonder what happened with her backstory. Well, actually, know literally the least about her. Okay, they're looking for it. Yeah, she's. That's quite fun. Ooh. Have you guys tried asking the lost and found? Yeah. Upgrade? Aww. This. Yeah. Wow. She used all 1 million yen for this? Damn. That is some commitment. And the passport is in her. She can't. The ever observant. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had raw durian before. That was fun. That was quite fun. Alrighty, I'll see you guys after the ending. Alrighty, so that was a nice little episode of watching them playing around, and of course also a good episode to build the character of these characters as well, right? Learn a little bit more about their personalities, their interrelationships and whatnot. You know, I've talked about this before where, and actually the anime itself mentioned before that, you know, they aren't really that close of friends yet, right? But slowly we're seeing them make the steps towards that process. And I do like how, you know, in the end, it all made sense as well, right? Like, I was wondering throughout the episode, because Hinata doesn't strike me as the type of person who would misplace her passport, right? Out of the 4 girls, I'd say Kimari would probably have the highest probability of misplacing her passport, then Shirase, then Hinata. Yuzuki is probably the one that I would least expect, especially since she's a veteran of travel already. So, it kind of really bugged me. Like, how come Hinata, who is always been portrayed as, you know, really one of the more dependable and reliable and more mature of the girls, is the one who's losing her stuff, right? But of course, it's all revealed in the end. It's actually Shirase's fault. And we did get a little bit about Hinata's backstory here as well, right? Although, honestly, I can't really make out what that's supposed to portray. Like, is that a sports team of some sort? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. But I think maybe a bit more, you know, something that we should focus more is on the sort of clash between Hinata and Shirase, and more importantly, the clash between their ideals, right? And let's talk about Hinata first, because, you know, even though she's trying to, I kind of relate with her in a certain way, because she's, you know, very adamant about others to not be considerate of her, right? My philosophy in life is I try to never be a burden unto others. So that's why I can kind of relate with her philosophy as well. However, here's where, I can maybe put some of my personal perspective into this. And I'm actually saying that perhaps Hinata isn't really she isn't as tough and independent as she wants to portray herself, right? Even though she's trying to say, like, don't be considerate of her, it might have to do with just, a particular incident that happened in high school, the flashback that we've seen. That's not her true character. And the reason I'm saying this is because if I were in that situation, right, again, with my philosophy being similar to her philosophy here as well, I would be fighting tooth and nail with Shirase to and all the others as well, to persuade them to go on ahead first, right? I can handle the situation here. I'll try to catch up to the best of my ability. Let's not make this into a case of tragedy for all four of us, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Shirase's decision is not good, right? It's just, if I'm just saying that if Hinata really truly was very she really took this philosophy to heart, it's one of her core principles and whatnot, she would not be so easily have given up her position here, right? Even if what Shirase is doing is very admirable, it's a huge sacrifice and whatnot, but still, precisely because of this, I feel like someone with that kind of philosophy and that kind of principle would never allow Shirase to do what she is doing, right? So that's my take on the situation here. Again, like, it speaks a lot of Shirase's character that she's able to make this decision, right? And definitely she should be applauded for it. And I guess you could say the circumstances are maybe a little bit different as well, but still, I think what I'm getting out of this is beyond Shirase's character, how we see her, really care for these other three girls and whatnot, and where her priorities lie. I feel like it's also, in a sense, sort of cracking open the facade that Hinata is trying to put up here. Maybe I'm overanalyzing this and thinking too much into this sort of touching or compelling kind of situation, emotional scene, but that's my take on the situation here. So yeah. And beyond that, I guess, what else about this episode? They did kind of go through some different, famous Singapore tourist destinations and whatnot. Honestly, I would have liked to see a bit more. I would have loved to see them actually play around a little bit more. I do enjoy those kinds of things in this type of anime. Now, unfortunately, like I've said, I personally haven't been to Singapore before. I've been to neighboring Malaysia lots of times, but I've never actually set foot in Singapore yet. So there's not really much I can comment on in regards to any references or any trivia in regards to Singapore. But, honestly, in this day and age, in 2019, I feel like probably a lot of people have a much better understanding of Singapore than they had when this anime originally aired, right? Particularly because of the the huge popularity of the movie Crazy Rich Asians last year. So I feel like probably a lot of people have considerably upgraded their knowledge of Singapore. So there's probably not really that much I can say anyways, even if I was more familiar with Singapore. So yeah, not really that much else to talk about. It seems with the preview at the very end of this episode, we see the ship again. So I'm expecting them to actually board the ship, get to Australia, board the ship and set off at the end of next episode. Oh, and by the way, I kind of made a mistake at the beginning here. So this anime is actually 13 episodes, not 12. I double checked it. So next episode is the true halfway point, right? And I guess it's kind of very, very neat in a sense, right? The first half concentrates with them, getting the crew together and making the journey to board the ship, right? And then the latter half is really describing them actually getting to Antarctica, and who knows what they're going to do there, right? So yeah, that's that. So, I think that's all about this that I'd like to say for this episode. A little bit on the shorter side, but I feel like the episode speaks for itself. I just have my view on Hinata's personality and Shirase's personality here. Well, I mean, not even Shirase's. I feel like her personality is really, there's only one way to interpret that in this episode. But in regards to Hinata, my takeaway from this might be a little bit different from you guys or from other people. So yeah, there we go. That's my review of A Place Further in the Universe, episode 6. I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.